Okay, so I wanted to make a track that was a little bit different from the other ones so far in this Raven project, and something that had a really spacious and almost orchestral section in it. And of course, it's going to build up into drums and bass and all that kind of stuff too. But so I started actually with a piano sound, and for this one I created a couple new instruments, and I'll play what I've created so far, and then I'm going to go back and sort of deconstruct how I made this sound. This is actually from a piano sound, a piano sample, and it almost there's parts of it, especially when you play it up higher, that it almost sounds like strings. But here's what it is. Okay, so all of this is just one instrument. I'm going to solo this piano synth here, and this is the one that I just created. All these tracks are just referencing the same sound. Here's what the sample looks like. So it's got the attack of the piano, but then it sort of fades into this pad or string kind of sound. So you can hold it out infinitely. And the way that I made this was I used a virtual instrument here of a piano. I like the four-front piano. It's a great instrument. It's an old upright piano sampled instrument. So these are actual recordings of a piano mic'd up. And this is what the piano sounds like normally. It's a nice piano, very sort of stock sounding piano. And what I did is I put a reverb on it, put a basic reverb on it. I think I did like 30% wet, and it's got a little bit of pre-delay, a size of 400 milliseconds, very basic. And that gives it the tail. And after the reverb, I put on a distortion, and I used one of my favorites, which is the DD overdrive. Really simple saturation plugin, and that sort of expands the reverb, because it's adding saturation not only to the attack of the piano, but also to the reverb that's on before it. So I then just put in a C1 or something like that and rendered that out as audio, and then took my audio and brought it into Ocean Audio, which is my wave editor here, and I flipped it. So this is the actual file that it's already edited here. And you see I reversed it, and essentially I took the entire sample, and I reduced the amplitude, reduced the volume by like 50% so that I could mix on top of it a reversed version of itself. I also flipped the stereo channels because the reverb adds a nice width, a nice stereo field, but that means the left and the right channel are slightly different. And so I wanted this to be able to loop infinitely. And so what I did is I reversed it and then swapped the channels left and right, copied that, swapped the channels back so that they would be inverted. The left would be on the right would be on the left, and mixed that in with the reversed audio. And this was the result. So I then just took this edited file, brought it back into my sampler. Here it is. You can see it's the same waveform right there. And then found its zero crossing, so it loops on itself, and you get the attack of the piano hitting the hammers, hitting the strings. And then I put additional reverb on it, and then I also have a filter on it, which is making it sort of that washy underwater feel. Normally it would sound like this. And then I'm using the DD limiter because I'm stacking this sound. It's just one sample. It's kind of what I call a micro monolith. It's a single sample stretched across the keyboard and just loops infinitely. It's only adjusting the pitch by adjusting the rate of the sample playback. So the higher the note, the faster the sample is being played back. And if I hold it out, you'll start to hear it. That's actually sort of digital. But it also gives it that kind of spacey, weird, not quite earthly kind of sound. And then I've got a DD delay on here, so I've got the left and the right channel slightly different on the delay. So again, giving it more space, more atmosphere. And then I'm blending this in with another sample. It's a synth sample of a synth brass patch, another sample that I created. And it was a really, really low note, but I've also added some, when I created this, I added some distortion, and it almost sounds like a digitized cello. So here's just that part when it comes in here. I have a pitch bend on the very last note. Because this is electronic music, but I thought that this would be kind of nice. And then of course it's going to break down into this. Hi everybody, my name is Joshua Pomeroy, and I write and produce music under the name Anu. My latest project, Raven, is a collection of high-energy, mid-tempo tracks with aggressive bass lines, hard-hitting synth stabs, and blood-pumping drums. I've been working hard to combine my passion for design and art with my love of creating electronic music. I hope you enjoy this track and many more to come. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening.